A long time we haven't been together. We'll come back to our curious topic that we're going. The topic that we're going to speak about today is Moshe calls it in his sefer, in the Chavisa 119, which he calls about the Yesh Shel Ein Sof. Moshe explains our whole tafkid in this world is actually one thing we should be connected to fill up our life, that we're not disconnected, that we're connected. And everything that we do, the Rebbe does it. That means the person who do things mitzvahs anushim and is without machshuvah, without kavuna, or you can have kavuna but not kavuna. Kodesh Baruch Hu is doing it. It's partner of Kodesh Baruch Hu. Not only Kodesh Baruch Hu is doing it, Kodesh Baruch Hu is doing everything. But this is the main avodah. Kodesh Baruch Hu created the world. Amzi Yitzarti Telusi Sapari. I created the world in order that whatever is being done in this world looks like you're doing it on your own, as if you're finite. I want you to connect to the infinite every time you do something and say that without the infinite you wouldn't be able to do anything. The goyim are ready to agree and to live. I've thought in some one second. I have to put it in English yet. I'm sorry.
במערכת שידורי תורה שעל ידי כל הלשון, שאין לכם הרשאה לדוחות של קו זה. להקלטה, הקישור אחד, בחר את הנושא של השיעור שהנכם בחרתם להקליט לתוך ספרות באנגלית.
האין סוף של הסוף.
הנכם עוברים למצב המתנה עד הנכם עוברים כרגע לשידור. בסיום נתקו את הקו.
So today's Shiur will be talking about what Moshe calls it Hayesh Shel Ein Sof. It's in the Chavisa 119. We started saying the whole tachlis of the Bria is that we should recognize we're finite, we're mugbal, and everything that we have comes from the infinite. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it on purpose that we should be finite, but not only we're finite, we recognize also our strength, that we can connect to the infinite too. But here is a catch, that once I can recognize I have infinite koiches, a person can have influence on the whole world, a person can do things as if he's on his own. So he has to help us too, that we should know that whatever we do, it's him doing it. The only way he can help us do is when I connect to the Ein Sof. What does Ein Sof mean? Ein Sof means infinite. Stam is a kasha, why do you call it Ein Sof? Just like the bunch is an Ein Sof, is also Ein Atchala. So never began, it's there all the time. Atu Atchalei Nivroilam, Atu Mishin Nivroilam. You were here before the world is created. After it's nothing, it's new around here. So why do we call it Ein Sof? Moshe explains in order to connect to the Ein Sof, as long as you don't feel that you came to the Sof, to the end, that you can do things, so you cannot connect yourself to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Why? Because Hamizgua, Hamizgua is the Ein Anivi, the person that thinks that he's doing, so he says, Ani Eshken is Daku, I can only be where you allow me in altogether. So in order that should take over the whole steering wheel, as we call it, then I have to decide that I cannot. And the problem is when a person decides he cannot, he's not so sure about that he cannot. Maybe there's some things he doesn't know about yet, which he might know them and will be able to do that. Maybe there's some type of thing that I swallow something or do something or say something or argue at the dabbas, maybe that will work. But as long as you're still busy, how do I get to that? The person's hardship is to agree that he is bound, that he's chasar onim, he's powerless. So always find a way where he could get some bigger power. And as long as he feels that he can do it, and he can find a way how to do it, there's a will, there's a way, so then we'll never get to the Ein Sof, because that's one of the things that a person who's both gave them a rus and a will, that I want to reach everything what I want, which I should be able to reach it. So Gusha says, as long as a person didn't try all options and decided that he came to the Sof, not to the Sof, that maybe there is something beyond that Sof, but the Sof is actually Ein Sof, then he'll be able to go into Emunah and to connect to Rebbeinu Shalom, not through understanding, not through knowing how to do it, just to be able to connect to Rebbeinu Shalom through Emunah, through believing. Believing is called...
So through the unknowing.
Huh?
Through the unknowing.
The unknown, Ein Sof means as long as you have as long as you didn't decide that you are that your Sof is Ein Sof, there is no way that I can connect to the Ein Sof.
Can I decide to be chasar onim?
No, you can't decide that either. That's also has to help you. Yitzhak Sherudim is Gablu, which helps you that too, that you should be able to be. You should be able to be chasar onim. You should be able to be powerless. That means because a person on himself will never decide that he's powerless. Only if he's forced to do that.
The most scary thing ever.
Well, but if I know that actually, that as long as I'm powerless and I'm blaming myself, blaming others, and I don't let the procedure to happen, I'll always be busy finding who's bothering me. And there's a lot of things out there that we have that messed us up. Parents, teachers, the surrounding, as I call it, it's a bokher, zman, and anushim, which will always find all kinds of ways to explain why it doesn't go. But that's not the Lord. The Lord is Baruch created you in order that you should proclaim that actually whatever you're doing, He's doing it. Then automatically the yesh, which you are the yesh, is connected to the Ein Sof. So when that yesh comes to the Sof and he sees that is Ein Sof, that is the time that he is connected to the Ein Sof. Once he's connected to the Ein Sof, then what happens is Kodesh Baruch Hu wants to give him more power than he has, and he's going to give him more power, more understanding, more abilities, but also he won't give it at once. You get it? And then you have to come again that what you had is also that you have, it's not you you have to come to the end of what you have, the end of ability of what you have, in order to understand if you came to the Ein Sof of yourself, then I can reveal myself, then you reveal me again, and I can keep on giving you. It's just like a father gives a small child, he gives him a dollar to buy something. The child goes away and comes back and doesn't bring the dollar back, so he can't give him another dollar. But he gives him a dollar and brings back change, 50 cents. The father knows it didn't cost more than 50 cents. So next time he gives him $2. Gives him $2, and he comes back again with change, so I can give him $100. And as the more I see that I can trust you, what I give you, then automatically I can keep on giving you. That's the way the Kesher Brother works. When he gives us whatever we need, is actually in such a way that he can give us endless strength, infinite strength. He has to do it finite, but not because he doesn't want to give us infinite, because if he will give us infinite strength without recognizing who gave it to us, which is called the hachnua, the humbleness, then actually will be vayishman yeshir and vayivot. But since we're made out of human beings, and human beings tend to say, so it's not only it's going to build you up, it's going to mess you up. So, there's a famous statistics for all the people that win overnight lottery is their life gets messed up very fast, and whatever they had, they also lose. If it's family, if it's business,
you don't know how to handle this amount of money.
So that means I gave you hashpus, you didn't have the kli, you didn't have the vessel to get it. So every time that you have a suga, I must bring you to empty out your vessel that you have right now. I should begin it. How do we do it? I give you missing. I give you things that you don't understand. So actually you see that your vessel is not full. So once you know your vessel is not full, so I can give you again, because you knew that you got it as a present from the Rebbe, and not that you knew it before. So actually that's why the reason a person has to be all the time busy, living with the present and living with the present. Living with the present is called living with the hoiva, with the now, and living with the present is also that whatever you have right now is a present, so automatically you're leaving space to get another present. But once he gave me a present, a matana, and I take it, but I'm the one the matana, not only I lose the connection, but I also cannot get new. Rush explains it very nice here with a motion. Just 1 second. Rusha explains it very nice. 119, he says that a person for emotional paradigm, a person has a business, has a shop, and when the shop goes, the business goes, everything excellent. And you can do an Excel and give a forecast, what's income, what's your expenses, and at the end, you show that the income is more than the expenses. So you understand how this works, you're connected to that, and you can even sell it, make an exit, as they call it these days, because I built a certain things, so that we're connected to that. What happens when the matzah is just the opposite around? Around here, I think. What happens if the matzah is all together around? That means the expenses are more than the income. Every time there's a new problem or new expense that I didn't think about it. Every time things get broken, and And the loch, if the sun becomes even more emptier without a bottom, and the income is very low, and I suddenly see myself with a lot of choices, a lot of we don't know what's going to be the end of it. Says the Bush Chiddush, that means you came to the sof. But if you have to decide that you don't have a way how to get out of it, and then you give tefillah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that actually you brought me not to this sof, to this end because you want to punish me, not that you brought me to this end because to blame myself. You brought me to this end in order that's the way that I can connect to the Ein Sof, your Ein Sof. That means the connection to the Baruch Shem is not in the tchil, when you start off, when the person starts off and doesn't see his powerlessness, he's not connected to the Ein Sof. When is he connected to the Ein Sof? By the Sof, and he sees the Ein Sof, then he can connect himself to the Ein Sof. Then when he sees himself, no way how he's going to keep the business going. No way how he's going to have panusa. That's called Ein Sof. Why? Because I feel I don't have what to hold on. I feel that I have no way how to get out of this. But I feel I have no way how to get out of this failure. I have no way how to figure it out. That is called Ein Sof. Then whatever you're going to get an answer suddenly pops into your mind. You decide that you're already helpless. Suddenly you get an answer in your mind. That's what you can do here. Or someone pops up that day. You didn't know it can help you. As that is called already yesh, but it's yesh shel rachman, not yesh shel din. As long as I live, that I'm the one that understands what it is, and it's yesh shel din, and din is called tzimtzum. I don't let the hashpus come in. There's a famous story in the Words, where he brings letters at the end of the Sefer. One of the letters he writes that they were busy making, their business was with tobacco. And one day the government started stopping this business and put a lot of taxes on it, and it didn't bring any more the income that they used to have. So they were writing all the time to the Rebbe, excited, you should be mispal, and etc. And he tells them, why are you so busy with the tobacco? And when they decide in Shemayim that the tobacco is not the panus anymore, so then it must be Machisa the Arak and Machisa the Shmaya. Whatever they decide here must be decided Lemala. So Kadosh Baruch Hu on purpose changes the course of panus all the time in order that if it would be the same panus all the time, a person will really think that he's doing everything. He won't even have a havana that the Baruch Hu is helping. As we said before, Yitzchak Udam is Gabur all the time, sending all kinds of ways that you should understand that he's not doing anything. So then, this Baruch Hu is bringing you now to such a place that you don't know what to do. Instead of agreeing and give achnua, understand that's actually because Baruch Hu wants to give you a new opportunity of panusa. But don't stick your mind all the time to what you understand. Understand that you came to the Ein Sof of the end, then he'll be able to help you. But he writes in the letters, every year you ask me the same question again and again. I should give a brucha that the tobacco should work. Till one day, there was one of the Kehilis, he writes to them, I'm sure that this year you'll have already Atzlucha. Why? Because this year you didn't remind anymore, you didn't talk about the tobacco anymore. So he says that's what happened. Because once you're not so busy with the specific thing that a Baruch should give you the permission, you leave open the way a Baruch should give it to you. So actually, the reason why it was stopped is not because he wanted to stop. He wanted to help you to be connected with him. You wouldn't have been able to be connected only through that. That's called Moksha Balachiva Onden Ein Tzadikin Gemein Choyin Lamed. It's asked this week, we're into Chodesh El. So what is a tzaddik more or Balshiva is more? We know always that tzaddik is more than Balshivas. So what is Balshiva more? Pilut explains there's two matzulim. There's Master Baruch Hu created the world until with Uda Merishn. Then he had he was more than all the creation, as we said, Doimen Sameach Chai. The Medaber had something sometimes called Das. That means what he was able to use the Das not to understand, he used the Das to be connected to the Rebbeinu Shloim. And he told him, don't eat from the Etz Hadas. That means right away, as you see something, use your Das not for understanding, use your Das for connection.
So it has made us to make himself connect.
Okay, once you start eating from the Etz Hadas, actually it messed you up, and you try to understand. That's why it says, Vayedu ki arumim hem. Suddenly noticed that they're naked, but they were naked all the time. So what happened now? Because as long as the nakedness bothered them, and it wasn't bothering them, because it's just like your hand is tefillin, not ashamed of your hand. The same thing, all the organs of the body comes from tayag mitzvahs and mach mitzvahs. So there's no part of your body that's not shot, that the Rebbeinu doesn't reveal himself through that part. That there was no busha, there was no shaming. Once you brought in the das, you tried to understand it, which you cannot understand. You have to believe, and to believe, you want to try first to understand before you believe. So that's the place where you start being ashamed of. That means we'll come back again. So the Baruch Hu created us actually all. The mission is tzaddik. What is tzaddik? That he sees the Rebbeinu Shloim with Hesach Hadas. Hesach Hadas means he uses the power of the Das that gives him connection, but doesn't have to use the power of the Das to understand why the Rebbeinu Shloim is there. He goes into a minute. That will be, the Bush says, that will be a Mashiach will come. Will be the Hesach Hadas. What does Hesach Hadas mean? Hesach Hadas means that you won't have to invest so much Das, which is knowledge, to come to the Das, which is called connection. Why? Because Udam, when he ate from the Etz Hadas, he was going against the will of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. So he created a partition. He created the klippus. He created something that went wrong, as if something went wrong, but still something went wrong, because Baruch took it into account too. But then once the Sitrach, the Tibber, is there, so then every time you have to invest your das to know that you don't know. Tachlis hayidiyah l'das she'en yodaya. But as long as you're not ready to know that you don't know, you're not going to be able to get the Hesach Hadas. Why? Because the clip is all the time telling you, what do you mean you don't understand? You have to understand. So that happened actually by the Chet from Etz Hadas. They say we used to be. These days, people are busy. They want to do mitzvahs. They can do the mitzvahs, but they won't understand why. Tell me why I have to do it. I'll do it. There used to be times people wanted to do, but the Goyim didn't let us. Then came times that we didn't even want to do it anymore. Today, everybody wants to do it, but as long as you're not going to explain me why, and why me, or why not him, or why not this way, why not that way, That's what messes us up. Why is that happening? So I say that the Spinka Rebbe used to say that Erev Shabbos he has a lot of Agnes Nefesh usually. Why? See the Agnes Nefesh of Friday, he knows Eze Oiris light will have on Shabbos. So he asks, why does the Rebbe do that to us? If you want to give us a Shabbos or take us out for a hotel, already from Tuesday, that when comes the Shabbos, we will go into it easy. Meantime, everybody's at home and everybody has to be busy with all kinds of turmoils, and some of the times things plots on Shabbos, you don't even go into the Shabbos. So he explains what is actually Shabbos. Shabbos is me'en olam haba. Shabbos is something which we call l'usid luva. That means because Baruch takes away the Seitzei, the koich zatim of all week long. You can be one with the Rebbe Shalom, you have to connect. But you have to see that he's the one that connects you, not yourself. So he helps you on Erev Shabbos and gives you that big turmoil on Erev Shabbos to see that you have to be quiet. Now when the Shabbos will come in, you'll see actually because Baruch gave you the Shabbos, you didn't take it by yourself. That's called the Yom Shekila Shabbos is something like Usid Luva. You're not with me. Okay, again. What is Usid Luva? Usid Luva will be, nothing will change. Everything will go, same thing. We'll be sitting here and saying Yashir on Sunday, but the kasha won't be a kasha anymore. Right now, when I say something, a person has a snagdus, has a certain, something keeping him back to understand what I'm saying. Why? Because he's right. Because he's trying to understand. He's trying to understand, that's keeping him back from Hesed Chadas, that's pulling him away. That's schlepping him down.
Even if I'm telling myself, okay, I won't, but
still have that pull.
Yeah.
Shabbos is a day that Hakadosh Baruch Hu lets you out of that pull. Not altogether, but in the chelik ha-maaseh, you're doing, the chelik ha-dibur, of talking, there he doesn't let you do anything which is choil, not to talk about choil and not to do anything choil. So whatever you do has to be within that you're allowed to do on Shabbos. So actually, it's not schlepping it down, not your doings, your masim, and not your talking. The only problem is the thought. Which, even the thought won't stop us. Because we'll be hesed chadas. We'll be ready to go into there, because the clip will be away altogether. So every time Shabbos comes, if you won't have the preparation of Erev Shabbos to see that you don't understand how to go around with Erev Shabbos, because that is a preparation to see that every time you come to a sof, as we said, and you see the Ein Sof, then you're ready to keep quiet and to accept the Bonshem's letting you. The same thing the Bonshem does every Friday. Every Friday it brings us to an end, but not an end that I think I'll give a two-patch and start yelling and start screaming. Things will work, because then I miss out on the Shabbos too. Then we're all busy. We lose the Shabbos. We have to keep quiet, and people have to start already with the Shabbos to prepare everything on Thursday. And then Chatzor is Friday. Tzaddikim used to sit already and wait for the Shabbos. Why? Because they knew if they're not waiting for it, because Baruch will make me already wait for it through a negative way. That's the whole mahalach that teaches us. Why wait?
איפה לא הלך לצדיקים ביום שישי?
עוד פעם?
איפה לא הלך לצדיקים? אני מחכה ברגוע ביום שישי.
זה איפה הלך לצדיקים? זה Bush explained, because they're living with the machoivi negdisum and chetusa negdisum. They know already from all week long that they were all busy. They turned it over altogether different. I try myself, my luck, what I can understand. When things go wrong, so then either I go into years and chaos. That's also a certain way that I try to say that I can do something, and I'm the boss. And to get to Achnua, this is the whole day that Bush talks about. But then a person, instead of being busy all the time with trying to do, he knows that he cannot do. How does he know what? He's always busy remembering that what Amelech says, Machoivi negdisum. So once I remember that all the time, so then Shvis Hashem Negesum is a must for me. It's not a voluntary. But as long a person doesn't live with the Machoy Negesum, a person doesn't live with the Chetus Negesum. So as long as he can get along on himself, he gets along on himself. The tzaddikim, the whole difference of the tzaddikim is that they live every second in a danger that they might forget the machoivi, they might forget the chetusim. And maybe they're going to forget the shavisi, so they keep on remembering the machoivi. And the chetus is, how am I saying now a shir? It's not because I'm saying a shir. There was a lot that I only notified 7 o'clock that I'm going to say the shir. But if I would have notified at 12 o'clock shir, it wouldn't be such a good shir tonight. Even now, this you have to get stuck from time to time. But the vote is that the more you live, that you're sure, then that's where you meet the Ein Sof.
Oh, so that was the point of the shir.
I said the point of the shir is you have to get that your Sof is Ein Sof, then you can only then and only then you can get connected to that. So
we made it practical today.
We have to talk about practice. That's what the shir is for. That's what we say. Ani ledoidi li. We say El is ani ledoidi li. What is ani ledoidi li? Matai is ani ledoidi? When I don't understand. But it's not enough that I don't understand. I wish just to say I have to also understand that I cannot understand. As long as you try to understand, you're never going to get to understand. If you don't understand, that's when believing starts. As long as you don't understand that you don't, as long as you don't understand, you don't understand, you're ready to understand why you're not understanding. You keep on finding ways how to understand. That's called ani ledoidi. As long as I don't give over all to the boss, that I understand that I cannot understand, then as doidili, I can give you fill you up your power through that. Hashem oiz la'am yitan, Hashem yevorach esami v'shalom. Any questions?
בשם על יום שישי שהרבא אמר, אז בשם אמא שלי, שהיא שאלה את רבו למה ביום שישי תמיד רבה עם אבא שלי. זאת אומרת שהנשמה מאוד מתרגשת, זה מה שרבו שאלה. הנשמה מתרגשת ביום שישי לקראת השבת, לכן הכל כזה מתוח.
חסיד, אומרים שזה גם הפוך. שהגוף ידעת שהולך לגמר העסק, וממילא הגוף מתנגדת, עד שהנשמה כן מרגישה את זה, הגוף לא מסכים לזה, כי הוא צריך להיות בטל בשבס, הוא לא מבין שהוא לא מבין, אז ממילא בנסה להבין, אבל היות שיש את כמו הקברין, אני חושב שערב יום כיפר, the Yitzhak has a problem. Yom Kippur has a problem that he has no work on. He has to be. Yitzhak doesn't work on Yom Kippur. Because what I'm going to do that day? So says the Kabrina, it makes a person become very sensitive on Yom Kippur. Starts crying and goes into a certain depression, atzvus, and then he makes you cry a minute before Yom Kippur, and then keep on crying while Yom Kippur, and it's okay, he can go on vacation. The same thing he does is that he's on Shabbos too.
So basically, when I stop to understand, then I can go out of the box, and then all the opportunities are coming. No?
Shalom, תגיד שלום, מה קרה?
Shalom, Rebbe, shalom.
Was it
חיזוק, wenn die opportunities came דווקא במהר טוב verstehen, weil der Mond kämen raus.
When you start running away, that is the opportunity. When you're not ready.
So then you think outside the box.
Right. And the only way you can that the Rebbeinu Shalom is, he has to help you that in. But instead of that, to agreeing that he's helping you in, you become broken. That's where you lose it. But when you're able to stand in that matzah that you cannot do, not become broken from it, and understand that he's helping you in those minutes to connect to him, it's toivli ki hinetzu, Rusha calls that I understand this is what hurts me, but that's the only way I'll be able to understand that I don't understand that, which is called chikechu. Chikechu is something that you cannot understand, but as long as a person doesn't understand, he doesn't understand, then he never comes to chikechu. They want to do Shlomo HaMelech Amar, Amarti ech kemo. I'm trying to understand. Maybe there's things that I don't understand, but I can understand. As long as I didn't decide to hear the choikum many, I have to understand that it's far away from me and I cannot understand. That's when I come to the Nekida, which is called Chochma, which is called Koyach Mana. The Buddha says you cannot do it on your own. You need somebody, a leader, to tell you that. We also meet friends every Sunday to get together and talk about it again and again and again. We should be able to get Koyach another week. I'm sorry, 4 weeks I was away. Try to connect, but it was yes, Chesky.
Rabbi, first of all, thank you so much for having the Chabur again. I really appreciate it. When the Rebbe said something that when a person comes to the Sof, to the Ein Sof, he finally comes to the Sof, something about the thoughts after the first thoughts that he gets after is the direction from Hashem is sending him. Is that what the Rebbe was saying?
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to do it here. You said it last. Nicht?
Was hat nicht?
Ich habe gemacht, Lola 4.
המיקרופון?
Again, what are you saying?
So I think the Rebbe was saying that when the person comes to the Sof, he comes to like the end, he realizes that he doesn't have the answers. So Hashem takes him to the Sof. So the first thoughts that he gets after he realizes that he doesn't have the answers are the direction that Hashem is sending him. Is that what the Rebbe was saying?
Then he has to agree to the direction that Hashem is sending him. Sometimes in Busha called it Sibis. The Roch is sending you, he's talking to you, but he's not talking, knocking on your door and say, Chesky, I'm here. But he wants you to come to that place of powerless, and then suddenly you have courage, so you know it's him that gives you the power. But if you want him to speak, call you by your name and say, good morning, my name is God, it won't work that way.
So again, so the Rebbe was saying that after a person,
we don't have to import the bunch of that word to this word. Because the whole mitzias of a person is a blemish. But the maluchim don't have this luxus to think that they are something and they have to decide that they're not. Not the doimim has it, not the tzemach, not the high. Only one that has this luxus that he can think that he's doing something. That is the udam. And the Chizuk has. So why are you having a tain on me? I don't have a tain on you. I'm just recognize I have to help you there too. That is actually what we're fighting around, because we're not ready to agree that we to understand that I don't understand. And that is balkoch achatachai. It brings you to such a way that you feel uncomfortable. So the first thing you run away is start blaming the whole world besides yourself. You don't chap that you're messing yourself up. You think you're helping yourself to get to a certain place of free will.
So after that, like after a person comes to the Sof and recognizes that he has no other answers, there's no Eitzah. So after that, the machshava that he gets afterwards, the direction that Hashem is bringing him, is the more pure thoughts.
New thoughts that work, but again, this new thought that he got is just like I said, a small child. You give him $100. You can't give him right away $100. You can give him a half a quarter, and then a half a dollar, then $1, and $2, and you see if he's doing the right things with it. If you can give him $100 at one time, he's going to mess himself up, and you messed him up.
So then he starts over the whole process until...
Okay. Well, that's, again, a person forgets. He starts over the process because he created the world. He's the one that wants to bring the tachlis. And we cannot do it on our own, but you have to let him help you. How does he help you? See, suddenly you don't get along with this, you don't get along with that, you don't get along here, you don't get, it's not enough how much you wanted, that all your dreams don't come true, but not because they cannot come true, they can come true, but not that you brought them, that he brings them. And only these people that are bothering you on the way, they're the ones that can bring you to your dream. But if you want everything should go, nobody should be bothered, and I shouldn't bother anybody, and everything should go the way I decide. Meantime, nobody invented that.
And Rebbe, one more question. I think it's connected. How does savlanas work into the derech? Like how
it works? That is the derech. The whole derech at the end of the day, it's savlanut. That means from the time that I tried on my own, and suddenly I see that I cannot, and I have to wait, give the time of these days they call it meditation, breathing. Give the time that you have to go through until you show with yourself you don't understand. That means you understand that you don't understand. Then you can go over that Kodesh Baruch is giving it to you. Busha calls it lechu, the meal tehilu. The meal, that is the savlanut. So the savlanut helps you go out of the ani and go to the lechu, to Rabbeinu Shalom. Busha says chatzois lailu ukim lahoydis lach. Says by Machis B'choyes, the Chatzois Lailo Ani Yoytze Mitzrayim. What is Ani Yoytze? Only what is Chatzois Lailo? Says the Rush. Chatzois Lailo is when the light of the day finished, and there is no more light for this day, and the light of the next day didn't start. So you see that the light of this day became to the Ein Sof of the Sof. Then as Ani Yoytze, then you can see that I'm the one that's giving you the light the next day. But if you didn't use that soft line of Chatzois, which actually brings you to such a place that you don't understand, in order to help you see that the new day comes from the Rabbeinu Shalom, so you just missed out the opportunity. So sometimes because Baruch keeps giving it to you, but at the end of the day you become arrogant, at the end of the day you become yishir. So how do we do that? All the time we're busy, not blaming others, not blaming myself, and not on other sides giving the success to whom the success belongs to.
How long do you have to have savlanas? Forever.
It just says
until you get the light.
The Gemara says, "Ad zebila basaisa." You'll be busy with all the things that are bothering you. If your wife you'll have enough money to pay the people that have to bury you. Ones are busy with COVID will be busy. Why did they take out the mitzvah from the other person before his, and whatever it is? Everybody's busy. Keep on being busy. That's what the Gemara says. But if we know this pain that I have is not there to mess me up, it's to help me, then we say Toivli ki inaisi. Then we turn over Toyameyu Chaim Zuchi. Why? Because Toyameyu means Tami Yeruki Toiv Hashem. The taste that I have of Toiv Hashem is much more stronger than the whole understanding that I want to understand. It gives me much more tranquility, much more strength than my understanding.
Right, Rabbi, thank you so much.
All the tips, yes,
Thank you very much, Rebbe. It was very good to be able to see the Rebbe again after the break. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for being together. Thank you. Alex, to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebbe.
אז תשליך, זה אלכס.
ברוכים הבאים, רבי.
התגעגענו.